Yeah, you know what it is.
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
Yeah, you know what it is.
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
Yeah, you know what it is. Collegeville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. Purple and white, but you know what I mean. Double 11 senior year made history. Football, we took it to the playoffs. Collegeville, white and purple, yeah, we are the K-House. I said the K-House, the school of champions. We laugh a lot, we rap a lot. I'm at be an Indian again. I'm telling them that Collegeville is where it's at. So when we on the field of court, they better be aware of that. They scared of that. Of course, look at the ceiling. What up, Mr. Floyd? Yeah, Collegeville. And yes, I'm glad to say that I'm a K-Hawk. I'm about to graduate. Yeah. You know what it is. Collegeville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
White and purple, yeah, I know you see it. You see the chaos and you tell yourself you wanna be it. I go to CHS, so I am a champ. I ran this game so long I'm starting to get a stomach cramp. Class of 1, 2, but we're number one. Shout out to all my juniors, yeah, you know we get it done. White and purple, you already know. It's little easy peasy and that boy lay low.
Yeah, you know what it is. Collegeville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
I'm about my white and purple, Scarface and DJ Screw. We on the peak of the mountain, best at what we do. Yeah, we the champs, homie, but we ain't selling shoes. These boys bleeding purple, call us the cheapest crew. They don't gotta do it big, cause I don't play with sports. I play my cards right. Now a good report. When Dub 12 comes, it's time to roll off. I'm the back cause everybody rolling with me. K-Hawks.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Look, all the freshmen,
Yeah.
all the fresh sophomores,
High school,
juniors,
champions.
yeah, they know what it is.
All around my town, everything is
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
we shut it down for the school and the sports team.
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
Yeah, you know what it is. Collegeville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
And a very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Grizzlies Ballpark here in Sauget, Illinois, home of the Gateway City Grizzlies. But today, we got a little high school baseball action coming your way as your Collinsville K-Hawks finally open up their home portion of their schedule here at Grizzlies Park against the Triad Knights. My name is Todd Duke as we welcome you in to today's pregame show brought to you by LC's Pub in Caseyville. Great food, great drinks, great service is all served up daily at LC's Pub in Caseyville. LC's Pub, 605 North Main Street in Caseyville. You can give them a call for carryout orders. That's LC's Pub, 618-855-9007. Well, the K-Hawks come into this contest with a record of 4-5 on the year. Brett Swipp is their head coach. He's into his fifth season in that role, and he has a record of 60 wins and 77 losses. Triad, they are 8-1 on the year. Jesse Booger is their head coach. This is his 18th year as the head coach of the Baseball Knights, and he has a winning record of 395 wins, 249 losses. Well, the K-Hawks snapped a three-game winless streak with an 8-5 win in extra innings against Civic Memorial yesterday in a game that was played at Belleville East, as area teams are still dealing with a deluge of rain that fell this past Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with anywhere from 3 to 7 inches of rain that inundated the area. That depends on where you live. Collinsville, they put up a run in the first yesterday to go up 1-0, but CM put up a 3-spot in their half of the first to take a 3-1 lead. The teams traded runs in the second for an Eagles 4-2 lead before Collinsville plated another in the top of the third, but still trailed Civic Memorial 4-3. The Eagles made it 5-3 with a run in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Kahawks then plated one in the fifth and another in the seventh to tie the game at 5-all before Collinsville put up 3 runs in the top of the eighth, to which Civic Memorial had no answer for their half of the eighth inning, and Collinsville left with an 8-5 win. Carter Harrington went 2 for 3 at the plate with 2 runs scored and 2 runs batted in, while Grant Darden went 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored and 2 runs batted in. Harrington pitched. He started that game, but Lucas Owen came in after a couple of innings by Harrington and picked up the win in relief. And Owen gave up just 4 runs, or excuse me, Harrington gave up 4 runs in 2 innings. Owen pitched the final 6 and only allowed an unearned run while striking out 6 along the way. For the Knights, they're off to a typical Triad start to their season with only one loss so far in the young season. Triad came out of the gate strong with 5 straight in the win columns to start the year, with wins over Champaign Central, Galesburg, Morris, Mount Vernon, and Glenwood, and they outscored those 5 opponents 67-16 in the process. Triad then went to Vianney on March the 29th and lost a pitcher's duel to the Griffins in a 2-0 shutout by Vianney. The Griffs only managed 4 hits in the game, but held Triad to only 2 hits. After suffering their only loss that day, the Knights have won their last 3 games coming into this one with wins over Jackson, Mater Dei, and Wheaton Warrenville South by outscoring all 3 teams 25-4. And like everyone else in the St. Louis area, Triad had their scheduled Saturday game against Effingham St. Anthony rained out, and Collinsville lost a couple of games last week. So that's where we stand right now. And we will take our first break here on the LC's Pub pregame show. When we come back, I had a chance to catch up with Collinsville head coach Brett Swift, and that conversation will come your way next on the Kahok Sports Network.
Looking for a little bite to eat in a nice, friendly establishment before heading out to a game? Look no further than LC's Pub in Caseyville. Just blocks from Collinsville High School, LC's Pub is the pub of choice for Kahawk fans, before, after, or even during Kahawk games. LC's Pub features a wide variety of traditional bar food like burgers and fries, chicken wings and chicken strips, appetizers like pepper jack mac and cheese bites, fried pickles, and green beans. Plus they have salads, fish, shrimp, and more. LC's Pub also features an outdoor patio, a gaming room, weekly poker tournaments, and a pool table, plus enough TVs for all the sports fans. And LC's Pub shows Kahawk games live, as well as Blues and Cardinals games. LC's Pub, 605 North Main Street in Caseyville, right across the intersection from All Pro Tees. Call for carry-out orders at 618-855-9007 and on Facebook at LC's Pub. LC's Pub, Kahawk fans' pub of choice. Is it finally time to start doing what you've been talking about doing for years? Start making those plans right now and let Northwestern Mutual help you plan your future. Former Kahawk Joe Philpott can help you get started with that plan today. Joe Philpott, a financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual, can help build a plan specifically for you with a wide range of financial options and the flexibility to change that plan as your priorities change. To get started on your future, give Joel Philpott a call today at Northwestern Mutual's Fairview Heights office at 618-606-2022. Spend your life living with Northwestern Mutual. Call Joel Philpott today, 618-606-2022. Caseyville VFW Post 1117 Auxiliary supports the VFW with post projects and fundraiser events. The Caseyville VFW Auxiliary also provides donations and sponsorship for Veterans in Need, Jefferson Barracks in St. Louis, the Caseyville Food Pantry, outreach programs, summer lunches for students in the Collinsville Unit 10 School District, and now the Kahawk Sports Network. Plus, sponsoring CHS programs like band, theater, and sports. If you would like to provide support or join the Caseyville VFW Auxiliary, contact the Caseyville VFW Post 1117 at 618-344-9878. Looking for a little bite to eat in a nice friendly establishment before heading out to a game? Look no further than LC's Pub in Caseyville. Just blocks from Collinsville High School, LC's Pub is the pub of choice for Kahok fans, before, after, or even during Kahok games. LC's Pub features a wide variety of traditional bar food like burgers and fries, chicken wings and chicken strips, appetizers like pepper jack mac and cheese bites, fried pickles, and green beans. Plus they have salads, fish, shrimp, and more. LC's Pub also features an outdoor patio, a gaming room, weekly poker tournaments, and a pool table, plus enough TVs for all the sports fans. And LC's Pub shows Kahok games live as well as Blues and Cardinals games. LC's Pub, 605 North Main Street in Caseyville, right across the intersection from All Pro Tees. Call for carryout orders at 618-855-9007 and on Facebook at LC's Pub. LC's Pub, Kahok fans' pub of choice.
And we welcome you back into the LC's Pub pregame show here on the Kahok Sports Network. Finally get to bring you some Kahok baseball. And we are at Grizzlies Park in Sauget. Beautiful sunshiny day, a little on the chilly side, but you know what? It's better than Friday's game, which got rained out because of storm. So let's get right to it. How about we talk things over with fifth-year Collinsville Kahok baseball head coach Brett Swip. Coach, first of all, nice to see you.
Good to see you, Todd. Always enjoy the start of the season and seeing you announce our game. So thank you so much.
All right, you guys went 2-1 in the season opening PBR tournament. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, first off, the weather was good, so that's a positive. You know, when you're playing that early, teams from Chicago usually come down here. We try to get games in. You know, weather's always up in the air, but we had a nice little stretch. So we had decent weather. It was fun to see our guys, of course, transition from the off season into competing. And you don't really know what your team identity is going to be, especially with our team. We have a very new team. So it was fun to kind of see what that identity is. And yeah, we played against some good competition. You know, had a few innings there we probably wish we had back, but it was a good start to the season.
All right, right after that, you had just a regular seasonal matchup with Breeze Central. Let's go past that. And for the second year in a row, you guys made the trip down to Memphis, Tennessee, where you played some top-notch teams from a bunch of different states.
Yeah, you know, it's something that the group last year started for us. And, you know, just being able to get into that tournament, you know, is kind of the first step. And then when you get there, you got to represent yourself well. And the group last year, our seniors last year really helped lead that charge. And then going into this year, we, you know, took the invitation again. We wanted to go down there again. And you know, first off, it's kind of team chemistry building, you know, so because you're in a hotel, you're traveling, you're in close quarters. So you kind of, you know, get annoyed with each other and, you know, learn how to deal with that. And you're eating together. And so it was, man, it was a great trip. It was, I mean, our coaches were super organized, super, you know, monitored the whole thing well. And then our kids were great. Just, we didn't have any issues. You know, they competed hard. We did run up against some competition we weren't quite prepared for yet. You know, we just didn't have the arms built up yet. You know, we played a lot of South teams that were in their 20th game or 25th game, and you know, we're in our 5th game, so we got pitchers on low pitch counts and still trying to build up, and we just weren't quite ready for a couple of those teams. But to be honest, our guys never backed away. You know, never backed away. We never had a game we lost by a bunch in a couple of them, but we never got 10 run, meaning we got to play 7 innings every time, and so it was a good experience for us. Competition breeds excellence, right? Man, I tell you what, it's something that we believe in. We play in the Southwestern Conference. I mean, we're going to see it today, right? We have, you know, we're playing against a team that's got a full college rostered team. So, I mean, you know, baseball here is good. So you need to play good competition to give yourself a chance.
All right, so game versus weather. Weather is undefeated always.
Oh, my goodness. Last week was interesting. I'm not sure. I remember in my 25 years of coaching just having a full week washed out. You know, we didn't get one game in. We were tired of practicing indoors, tired of each other. It kind of showed yesterday. We started off a little rusty yesterday. That was our first game and really our first practice outside in a while. And it feels good to be in what we think is more normal spring weather right now.
Yeah, and you got a good game in against CM. You had to do it in 8 innings, but you did so.
Yeah, that was a fun game. I mean, we started slow. We kicked the ball around. Our pitchers couldn't find the zone. We got down in the hole, you know. So it was fun to battle back, play a long game. We had to win it in a bunch of different ways. You know, we had to use everybody. Lucas Owen came in, and he kind of calmed things down on the mound for us, which is what we needed. He pitched 6 strong innings, you know, of relief. So it was a really fun game.
All right, you got Triad here today. They're no joke either. They're 7-1 on the season. Their only loss was a 2-0 shutout to Vianney, which is also a pretty good team. So you're going up more competition.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be. We've of course played Triad for years, but with them coming into the conference in a couple years, this will be fun. It'll end up becoming a conference matchup at some point here soon, and that'll be great. And they're super well coached. Their kids work their tails off. They got a bunch of leaders that are going to be going on and playing college baseball, and we're going to be hearing their names for a long time. They maybe even have a kid that gets drafted. So it's going to be an exciting, just an opportunity to compete, and we look forward to this. This is what it is in the Southwestern Conference. Like, you can't win, easy. You have to grind it out, and you got to be patient, take your blows, and get back up, and and that's just what it's got to be. And today will be a good test for that.
All right, what do you want to see out of your guys today?
That's just it. We can't get too high and too low. Our phrase this year is punch back, which basically just means we know we're going to get punched every once in a while. You're going to have a bad inning or a bad outing or a bad at bat or whatever it may be, but we want to respond in a more mature way, and that's been a lot of our focus this offseason. And so far I've been really pleased. We've just battled, and we've been we're getting battle tested, and that's what needs to happen.
Thanks for the visit, Coach. Good luck.
Great to see you, Todd.
Always nice. Coach Brett Swift, your Collinsville Kahok head coach. We'll take a break here on the LC's Pub pregame show, and when we come back, we'll throw some starters your way and stats. All that and more coming up on the Kahok Sports Network.
Well, we're not going anywhere because this game is already underway, and there is a partial swing there by Gabe Deaver, who is the leadoff batter for Triad, and it is 3 balls and 1 strike to the leadoff batter. On the mound, Logan Odell. We'll throw some stats your way and go through the lineups here as we move along, since they got started about 6 minutes early in this one. There's a called strike to Deaver, so he's all the way back, and I believe it's a full count now to Gabe Deaver. He is the center fielder for the Triad Knights, and Odell peering over his glove, and the righty ready to throw, and here it comes, and a swing and a miss, and down on strikes goes Deaver, and that's the way that this one gets started. There's 1 out, and that will bring up Hayden Burnreader, the right fielder for the Triad Knights. And I got to find me, there we go, out. Burnreader, he'll step into the plate from the right side as well, facing Odell, and he'll throw one high. By the way, Deaver, he came into this game batting .417 with 9 runs batted in on the year, and now we have Burnreader, who comes in batting .483, 17 runs batted in on the year in those 9 games so far, and he leads the team with those 17 runs batted in. And quickly, Odell falls behind him 2-0. We'll give you some numbers here on Odell here after he makes this next pitch to Burnreader. And here it comes. It's on the way, and that one hits the outside corner. For Odell, this is his 3rd game and his 3rd start. He has 0-1 on the year. He's pitched 5 2/3 innings, given up 5 runs, all of them earned, with a 6.18 earned run average. He's also given up 5 hits, and along the way he struck out 11 and walked 6, and that one's outside, and he falls down behind Burnreader just like he did with Deaver. Had him right where Burnreader is now at 3-1, and then battled back and got 2 straight strikes to get him out of there. So he's up to the same task here with Burnreader. Here comes the pitch. That one's outside, and he walked him. So runner on first base for Triad, and up steps Hayden Booger, the shortstop and the head coach's son. He'll bat in from the right side. For 2 left-handers in Deaver and Burnreader back-to-back, and now a righty in Booger. And Hayden Booger on the year is batting .448. There's 2 of them on my roster, so I was trying to make sure I got the right one. 11 runs batted in for Booger on the year. Runner at first base, 1 out. We're in the top of the 1st inning, and Odell is ready to pitch after he looks over his right shoulder at his runner, looks over there again, and now brings one home. That one is in there for a strike for Collinsville defensively. Matt Reynolds is in left field. Luke Robinson in center field. Carson Perrell is in right field. Carter Harrington at 3rd base. Grant Darden at shortstop. Braden Hinson's at 2nd. Adam Bovanette is at 1st. We know about Logan Odell on the mound, and he is pitching to Ben Tillman. And an 0-1 pitch instead of throw over to first base, and back in there safely is Burnreader. And on deck is Landon Loomis, the catcher for Triad. Got a lot of lefties here in the early parts of their lineup, does the Knights.
Here's one that's outside. That one misses the mark, and it's 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 runner on first. After Loomis, it'll be Keegan Sipe. He plays first base. Nolan Keller then bats in the 6th spot and plays third base. Sawyer Brunson bats 7th and plays second base. Batting 8th is Jackson Vaughn. He's the DH today. There's a strike called. Nice off-speed pitch there. And Braxton Sykes is the left fielder. Vaughn, the DH, is going to be batting for the pitcher, Drew Winslow. You know Winslow from basketball season. Triad Knights played at the Prairie Farms Holiday Basketball Tournament, and Drew was named onto the all-conference team. There's a hit out to right field, and stopping at second base is going to be Bernreiter. And after a strikeout of Deaver, the next 2 have reached. Booger on a base hit, and that will send Bernreiter over to second base. Here comes Landon Lewis. Lewis, the catcher, comes into this contest batting .423. 9 runs batted in. He has 2 home runs on the year. He is one of 2 Knights that have some home runs on the year, and he bats in from the left side as well. So now Odell working out of a little bit of trouble here, or trying to. 1 runner out, 2 runners on. That one hits the outside corner for a called strike against Loomis. Beautiful day here. Temperatures hovering right around 50 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. Wind is not an issue. It's a little breezy, but nothing gusting or anything like that. American flag just now falling limp out there in center field. Next pitch, partial swing, and the umpire says he went around, so Loomis is in an 0-2 hole. And you know Odell would like to strike out, or more than that, he would like to double play. Collinsville has turned 5 double plays so far on the young season. Odell from the stretch steps off as Loomis stepped out. Now he's ready to go. All AstroTurf here at Grizzlies Park. The brown stuff you see out there is AstroTurf, not dirt. And a turnaround, and if there would have been somebody on second base, that might have been close, but neither the shortstop Darden or the second baseman Hinson was anywhere close to take a throw, so Odell had to hold on to it. He's got Loomis in an 0-2 hole. Here's the pitch, and that one just misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to the catcher for the Knights, Landon Loomis. Loomis ready for the next from Odell. Odell taking his time, checking on his runners. Now he brings one home, and that one is off of the glove of the catcher, Tillman, and it gets far enough away that the runners move up. That's going to be a passed ball. And now we have runners on second and third with first base open. And the cleanup man, Landon Loomis, at the plate now. The 2-2 count. And Odell, he rocks back and forth, and he's ready to go. Here comes the pitch. And did he offer that one? Umpire says no, not this time. That was close. That was a close pitch to take also. So Loomis digs back in looking for something to hit. This is a spacious ballpark, all kinds of room, especially out in the gap in left center field. Here's the next pitch, swinging a high foul ball that's going to get back into the stands and out of play, and we'll do it all over again. Softball team in action today as well. They are taking on East St. Louis. That is at Plummer Park in Edwardsville because the Collinsville baseball-softball complex is underwater. There's another partial swing, and this time he walks him. So bases are going to be loaded. Second walk issued in the inning by Odell. And the bases are juiced as Tillman is going to go out and talk things over with Odell as Keegan Sipe, the first baseman, steps up to the plate. Sipe batting .346 with 11 runs batted in on the year, and he's got an opportunity to add on to that.
Now batting, number 24, Keegan Sipe.
Sipe also batting from the left side. This team apparently is just loaded with left-handed batters. We got 2 lefties and a righty, and then 2 more lefties, and we got a righty on deck. So the Triad Knights have no shortage of left-handers. There's a high fly ball. That is deep out to right field, and they look up, and that's gone. That's a grand slam by Keegan Sipe. And just like that, the Triad Knights take a 4-0 lead. And he got all of that. Well, that's not the start they were looking for here if you're wearing the purple and the white. And Nolan Keller steps up to the plate with the bases now empty. Keller is the third baseman for Triad. And he is in an 0-1 hole, and now there's a shot up the middle, bounces right to Grant Darden. His throw over to first is into the turf, and a nice pick over there by Adam Bovinet will make it out number 2. Play goes 6-3 for out number 2. And that'll bring up Sawyer Brunson. Nolan Keller, by the way, batted .214 on the year. He also had 11 runs batted in and a couple of home runs. And now it's up to Sawyer Brunson, and he'll foul one out of play. Brunson on the year batting .333 with 3 runs batted in. 2 outs, top of the first, but 4 runs home on a grand slam by Keegan Sipe. Odell, he's ready to work to try to get out of this inning and give his guys a chance to come back. There's a strike on the outside corner. 0-2 the count. One more strike and we can do just that. Odell looks into Tillman, has his sign. Works back from the windup now that the bases are empty and floats one outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. 2 outs. Top of the first inning. 318 down the third baseline. That's the only marker I can see. There's a high fly ball. That one's headed out to center field. On the move is Luke Robinson, and he'll get there for the out, but not before Triad does some damage. A grand slam by Keegan Sipe, the first baseman for Triad. We will take a break and head to the bottom of the first and see if Collinsville can start the comeback. We'll do that in just a moment here on the Kahok Sports Network.
At Visionary Wealth Advisors, we empower you to see your future before it's your future, to create your inheritance, to build your vision, to anticipate the known and unknown, and to find potential in both, and build new dawns. Visionary Wealth Advisors.
Visit Brad Keene at his Collinsville office at 106 North Clinton or call 618-467-8420.
Once again, we welcome you back here to Grizzlies Park in Sauget. A 4-run top of the 4th inning for the Triad Knights has them leading this thing before Collinsville can even come up to bat. And they will face Drew Winslow. Winslow is into his 4th game. This is his 4th start of the year. He is 1-0, 7 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 7 runs, 6 of those earned. 6 hits he's given up as well, but his strikeout to walk ratio is pretty awesome. 14 strikeouts on the year to only 3 walks, and he'll be looking at this lineup. Luke Robinson will lead things off. Luke's playing center field. Carter Harrington batting second, playing third. Adam Bovinet is over at first base, and he'll be batting in the number 3 spot, batting in the cleanup spot. The right fielder, Carson Perrell. Braden Hinson batting 5th and playing second base. The DH, Will Swip, is going to be batting in the number 5 spot, and he'll be batting for the pitcher, Logan Odell, in the 6th spot. Ben Tillman batting 7th and doing the catching. Grant Darden batting 8th and playing shortstop, and Matt Reynolds is batting 9th and playing left field. And here is Luke Robinson. Luke on the year batting .367 with a couple of runs batted in. And we have a bunch of left-handers in this game thus far, and that includes Luke Robinson as he steps in from the left side and gets ready to face Drew Winslow. Winslow, he's ready, and he fires, and that one's in there for a called strike. Defensively for Triad, Braxton Yates is in left field. Gabe Deaver is in center field. Hayden Burnreader is in right field. And after this pitch by Winslow, we'll give you the infield lineup as the next pitch is on the way that almost hits Robinson and ends up going back to the screen. Nolan Keller is at third base. Hayden Booger at shortstop. Sawyer Brunson's at second base. Keegan Sipe is at first base. And Drew Winslow is pitching to Landon Loomis, the catcher, for Triad. Bottom of the first, 4-0 in favor of the Knights. Collinsville trying to work the comeback magic here as they're in an early hole. Next pitch on the way to on the way to Robinson is outside. 2-1 the count to the Collinsville center fielder Luke Robinson. Winslow looks in, kind of stands over on the first base side of that rubber. And the next pitch on the way, there's a little fly ball right to the shortstop, Hayden Booger. And there is one away. That'll bring up Carter Harrington, the third baseman. Harrington on the year, batting .458 with 9 runs batted in. He is one of 3 Kahawks that have a solo home run. One of 4 Kahawks with solo home runs. Winslow will deal to Carter Harrington, and that one's just off of Loomis's glove and goes back to the screen. 1-0 the count to Harrington. Robinson with a little looping line drive to the shortstop Booger. Becomes the first out. Now Harrington up. Bovenet on deck. One of those two guys got to get on if Carson Perrell's going to have a chance to bat here in the first inning. Here's the next pitch from Winslow. That one's a little low. 2-0. And I'm looking around the ballpark. That's the only thing I see on the outfield that will tell me how far away these finches are is the 318 mark down the third base line. Of course, that little corner down there, down the first base line, I can't see it with the stairs in the way. No markings in center field, though, to tell us how far center field is away. That one's outside as well. 3 straight out of the strike zone from Winslow to Carter Harrington as he looks to get on base. Winslow looks into Loomis, has his sign. The 3-0 pitch on the way to Harrington. Swing and a shot out to left field, but it's on a line, a frozen rope right out to Braxton Yates. Becomes out number 2. So 2 lineouts, 1 on the infield and 1 in the outfield. And there are 2 away. That'll bring up Adam Bovenet. Adam on the year batting .417 with 6 runs batted in. He has one of those home runs I told you about. 4 separate guys with solo shots. Carson Perrell and Braden Hinson being the other ones. Bat from the left side. Here is Bovenet. First pitch from Winslow. He takes inside for a strike. So Collinsville going lefty, righty, lefty. Triad went 2 lefties, then a righty, then 2 more lefties. That'll keep a pitcher on his toes. 0-1 the count to Bovenet. Swinging a chance for the second baseman. He scoops it up, and Sawyer Brunson throws out Adam Bovenet, and that's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Collinsville and their first opportunity at the plate. So we will head now to the top of the second inning. Triad with a 4-0 lead, and we'll be right back to tell you all about the second inning after we take a timeout here on the Kahok Sports Network. Looking for something to get your high school student involved in? Maybe joining the Collinsville Kahok Trap Team is that something. Created in 2017, the Collinsville Kahok Trap Team has joined a long line of area schools in one of the fastest growing and safest sports in the country. Trap shooting is a fun, team-oriented outdoor sport that offers friendship, competition, and teamwork, all in a safe and fun environment that encourages students to be part of a team in which they will learn valuable skills and are encouraged to engage in community involvement through volunteering and mentoring. If Collinsville Trap sounds like something your student would be interested in, call Collinsville Trap at 618-795-9893 or visit Collinsville Kahok Trap on Facebook. Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Jason Regg, your Benjamin F. Edwards financial advisor, understands this. That's why Jason Regg is a proud supporter of your Collinsville Kahawks and the Kahok Sports Network, as well as the Kahok Educator of the Month Award. For all of your investment needs, see financial advisor and investment vice president Jason Regg at the Benjamin F. Edwards office in Collinsville, located at 1008 Vandalia Street, or call Jason Regg at 618-223-5215 or visit benjaminfedwards.com. Benjamin F. Edwards, member SIPC. We're underway here in the top of the second. The only two players that didn't get to bat in the first inning for Triad, Jackson Vaughn, the DH, leads things off. Then it'll be Braxton Yates, and then back to the top of the order in Gabe Deaver for Triad. For Jackson Vaughn, batting .412 on the year with 1 run batted in. As Odell having trouble finding the strike zone here early on in this contest. He's down 3-0 to Jackson Vaughn, the designated hitter, who is batting for the pitcher Drew Winslow, and there's 4 straight pitches out of the strike zone, and that is the 3rd walk issued already by Logan Odell. That will bring up Braxton Yates, the left fielder. Yates coming in batting .611 with 2 runs batted in. He has had 18 at-bats, so it's not like he's only had like 3 or 4 with that big average of his. But he's batting 9th in the lineup. And a bunt, it's popped way up into the sky and charging all the way in from third base, and he got a running start to do so, was Carter Harrington. So that'll keep Vaughn right at first base. 1 away. Back to the top of the order we go, and here is Gabe Deaver. He was a strikeout victim. He was ahead in the count 3-1, and then Odell buckled down and got him on the next 2, including the swing and a miss on the final strike. Odell working from the stretch once again. That one hits the outside corner for a called strike against Deaver. After Deaver, the next 4 guys got on, and well, the next 3 guys got on, and then Sipe sent everybody home with a grand slam. That one's outside, and that one gets away from the catcher, Tillman. Another pass ball, keeps on hitting him on his glove, but he's not holding on to it. And Vaughn makes his way down to second base. So an RBI opportunity here for Deaver. 1-1 the count against him. 1 out in the inning. And the pitch on the way. Swinging a foul ball out of play. Triad wearing their black uniforms have the word Knights written across the front in cursive red lettering. Red numbers on the fronts and the backs. Got a little red going around the bottoms of the sleeves as well. And the pitch from Odell on the way. He offered at it, but the umpire is going to appeal to the outfielder, or second infield umpire, and the infield umpire says he did not swing. Collinsville, of course, wearing the purple and the white. They have the word Kahawks written across the fronts of their jerseys. Numbers on the fronts and the back in purple. Wearing the purple caps. That one misses outside. 3-2 the count. Full count to Gabe Deaver. The only strikeout victim so far for Odell. 1 strikeout to go along with 3 walks thus far. And, of course, a big fly grand slam. Here's the next pitch. Swinging a base hit. That one's going to go out to left field. Matt Reynolds has it. They're going to wave the runner home, and there's not going to be a throw. And scrambling back over to first base is Gabe Deaver with an RBI hit. So 5-0 now in favor of Triad. And here is Hayden Burnreader, who walked and scored on the grand slam by Sipe. Burnreader from the left side. 1 out, runner at first. Throw over there and back in safely is Deaver. And Odell with a snap throw over there, and Deaver back in safely, trying to catch him sleeping, but that did not happen. Got a little movement from the flag out there in center field. Nothing too gusty as far as the wind goes. That one stays a little bit low. And Deaver leads from first. Burnreader trying to move him around. And the next pitch from Odell on the way, and that one is inside hand. It gets away from Tillman once again. Third pass ball here in this early parts of the ball game for Tillman. Runner at second base, one away. 2-0 the count to Burnreader. Odell, been working from the stretch a lot here in this one. Here's the pitch. Swinging a high fly ball. This one's going to head out of play as well. And that becomes the first strike to Burnreader. 2-1 the count to the Triad Knights right fielder, Hayden Burnreader. Runner at second, one out. Here's the pitch from Odell. Off-speed pitch, just misses the outside corner, 3-1. A little more movement in that flag out in center field now. Blowing from right field to left field. Odell pitches, swinging a high fly ball. On the run is Matt Reynolds, and Reynolds is going to watch that one go over the fence. So 2 home runs have proven to be the damage done so far here for Triad. A grand slam in the first inning and a 2-run home run here in the second inning. And just like that, it is 7-0 in favor of Triad. And still only one away. Hayden Booger, the shortstop, he singled and then came around to score on that grand slam by Stipe. And Collinsville in some trouble. Heard Coach Swip mention in the pregame interview they have not been 10-run ruled yet this year, but they are on their way to that if they don't fix things here soon. First of all, stop the bleeding, and second of all, you got to start a comeback. Pitch. It's 2 strikes in a row by Odell. Collinsville does not have anything going on in their bullpen. So right now, it's Odell's game. Pitch. Just a little bit low and outside. 7 runs across the plate for Triad on just 3 hits. And there's a little bouncing ball, and that one's going to be called foul by the umpire, even though Tillman caught it on the bounce and tagged out the runner, but umpire said it was in foul territory, so we'll go with that. Odell ready with the next delivery. Here it comes. And another check swing. This one goes foul, and Adam Bovenet wanders off into foul territory to get it. Need an out here. Now Collinsville does have some action in the bullpen as Tyler Huntebrinker is down there warming up for the Kahawks. Swinging another foul ball. This one's going to get out of play. Three runs home here in this inning. 4 scored in the first. And a swing and a miss, and down on strikes goes Booger. Second strikeout of the game for Odell. More importantly, the second out of the inning. And Collinsville 1 out away from getting out of this inning with no further damage done. But here is Landon Loomis. Loomis walked. 2 walks and a single loaded the bases for Triad before Keegan Sipe, who was on deck, sent everybody home with a grand slam. Odell works with the bases empty. Here's the pitch. That one's in the dirt, gets away from Tillman there for a minute. Sipe comes in and helps out just when the umpire got there. Odell into his windup. Here's the pitch. Swinging a foul ball out of play. And it's going to be back in the old kids zone over there. There looks to be about 5 kids playing. Got to watch out. Those baseballs hurt, man. 1-1 pitch on the way, and that one's inside. Loomis barely moved. Odell ready with the next. Here it comes. High, 3-1. Next offering by Odell. It's in there for a called strike, and we have a full count against Landon Loomis, the catcher for Triad. Odell, ready. Here's the pitch. Swinging a foul ball back to the screen. Next offering from Odell, inside. He walked him. So Loomis has received a free pass. Both times he's been to the plate. And Cannon Sipe is going to be the courtesy runner at first base, while Keegan Sipe, who hit the grand slam last inning, is up to the plate. And Odell probably doesn't want to give him anything to hit. He has already bared witness to what he can do with the ball right down the heart of the plate. Next pitch down low. Quickly 2-0 to Keegan Sipe, with Cannon Sipe running first base. And now we're going to have time called, and we're going to talk things over with Odell here. Odell has had a little bit of a rough start. Tagged for a grand slam in the first inning. Gave up a RBI single to Gabe Deaver to give Triad their 5th run, and then a home run by Burnreader has made this a 7-0 game. Tyler Huntebrinker still warming up down in the bullpen. That is down the third base side. Now the umpire has had enough of the conversation on the hill, and he trots out there, and he gets about halfway up before the conference breaks up. Gateway Grizzlies open up their season here on May the 8th. They do have a preseason game coming up at the end of the month, 29th and 30th against Evansville, one here and one there. Tillman called timeout, so everybody has to reset. Loomis has his lead from first base, 2 away. Odell from the stretch pitches outside. Ball 3. Odell trying to get out of this inning to give his team a chance in the bottom half of the second. And the next pitch also misses. 4 straight pitches out of the strike zone. 5th walk issued by Odell. Down to second is the courtesy runner Sipe, while the other Sipe heads over to first base. And here is Nolan Keller. Keller grounded out to the shortstop Darden his first time up. After that grand slam, Collinsville got back-to-back outs to get out of the inning, and there's a swing and a miss by Keller. Sipe brothers on base. Cannon at second base, Keegan at first. Here's the pitch by Odell. Outside. Check swing, but they're going to check with the umpire out there by the pitcher's mound. He says no, he did not go, so 1 ball, 1 strike the count to Nolan Keller. Odell checks on his runner at second base and brings it home. Stays a little high. We got a helicopter flying overhead. Looks like a little 2-seater. 2-1 the count. Here's the next pitch. Swinging a high fly ball, and on the move is Matt Reynolds. He's not going to get there. It's off the wall. 1 run's going to score. They're going to send the other one home as that ball took a big bounce off the wall and started rolling back toward the infield, and it took a while for Matt Reynolds to catch up with it, as both the Sipe boys have come home to score, and that makes it a 9-0 game on a 2 RBI single by Nolan Keller. And now Coach Swift is going to come out. We're going to have a pitching change. So we are going to take a timeout. We'll come back and tell you all about said pitching change when we come back from this break here on the Kahok Sports Network.
Are you a collector of sports trading cards and other sports memorabilia? Then you need to check out Rippin' Rookies Cards and Collectibles in Collinsville. Rippin' Rookies specializes in sports cards from all the major sports, MLB, NBA, NFL, plus Star Wars cards and more. Rippin' Rookies buys, sells, and trades cards and other memorabilia, and they have a large selection of single and graded cards. Walk-ins at Rippin' Rookies are welcome, or you can set up an appointment for large collections at sales@rippinrookies.com. Rippin' Rookies, 102 East Clay Street in the Old Herald Complex. Open Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Rippin' Rookies, Collinsville sports card and memorabilia destination. Want to catch some of the best live music in Collinsville from a band of all Collinsville area residents? Look no further than Sonically Pleasing. Sonically Pleasing with former Kahok Logan Carlisle, his dad Tim, along with Caleb Tanzius, play some of the best rock and roll hits from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. You can catch Sonically Pleasing at some of the area's finest venues, as well as book Sonically Pleasing for your private event or party. To put some music in your life, it's Sonically Pleasing. Check out Sonically Pleasing's Facebook page for upcoming live show dates and to book them for your special event or to call to book that event at 618-401-0052. Pleasing live rock music for your ears. Sonically Pleasing, 618-401-0052. Collinsville Barbecue Supply, home of Code 3 Spices, is first responder owned by proud Kahok alums. Located at 1966 Vandalia, Collinsville Barbecue Supply is your one-of-a-kind barbecue headquarters that focuses on everything barbecue and cooking, providing the best American-made barbecue grills, in-person class instruction, smokers, rubs, sauces, accessories, and cooking expertise from professional barbecue experts, including an in-house chef and pitmaster. Code 3 Spices provides award-winning sauces and rubs that supports our nation's first responder and military organizations that focus on the fallen, suicide prevention, and PTSD awareness. Stop on by, see the guys at Collinsville Barbecue Supply for all of your cooking and grilling needs. Collinsville Barbecue Supply, home of the four-time world champion Patriot Sauce. Learn more about their products and mission in giving back to those who serve at collinsvillebarbecue.com or call 618-855-8855.
Sawyer Brunson will step to the plate for the Triad Knights as Tyler Huntebrinker comes in to see if he can stop the bleeding. This is the fourth appearance for Huntebrinker on the year. He's pitched 5 innings. He's given up 5 runs, 4 of those earned for a 5.60 earned run average. He struck out 2 and walked 3. And that one just misses down the middle as Brunson, who flew out to the center fielder Luke Robinson in his only other at-bat, waits the next pitch from Huntebrinker. Huntebrinker working from the stretch, looking over his right shoulder, and the righty brings it home, and that one misses the mark as well. So Odell couldn't get through 2 innings of work. He got tagged for a couple of home runs, one a grand slam, the other a 2-run shot, and then a 2-run double and a shot to the shortstop. Up with it is Darden, and his throw is in time and over to Adam Bovenet, and the inning finally comes to a close from the 3rd out. But 5 more runs score here for Triad in the top of the 2nd inning. I didn't even change my thing over. So now we're going to the bottom of the 2nd inning, and Triad, they are up by a score of 9-0. We're back with Collinsville's next at bat after we take a timeout here on the Kahok Sports Network.
All Pro Tees in Caseyville is your place for custom apparel and has been for over 20 years now. Why? All Pro Tees can handle any size project, big or small, and they specialize in large group orders. At All Pro Tees, quality is number 1 on their list of priorities, as is evident by their excellent service staff. Did we mention All Pro Tees has over 20 years of experience? They can even help with fundraisers and event merchandising for your group. And of course, All Pro Tees is your destination for everything Collinsville Kahawks. So for all of your apparel needs, for civic groups, sports teams, business outings, or even a family reunion, your apparel needs stop at All Pro Tees. All Pro Tees in Caseyville at 2240 South Morrison Avenue. Online at allprotees.com. Right across the street from Kahawk Stadium. All Pro Tees, 618-344-2200.
We love to have you come work for the City of Collinsville. We have many positions available, from seasonal jobs to full-time opportunities in many of our departments. From police and fire to Gateway Center, Parks and Recreation, and City Hall. Our employees enjoy great benefits like comprehensive medical plans, paid time off, tuition reimbursement, and more. Visit the city's website, collinsvilleil.org, to apply and learn more about working for the City of Collinsville.
Carson Perrell will lead things off here for Collinsville in the bottom of the second inning. Carson Perrell on the year batting .481 with 11 runs batted in. He has the lead in that category and 1 home run, and he will face the righty Drew Winslow, who had a 1-2-3 first inning. Triad up 9-0. Here's the pitch, and that one is off of the glove of Loomis, but it's a called strike. And Perrell in the hole. It'll be Perrell, Braden Henson, and Will Swip, the coach's son. If anyone can get on, the catcher Ben Tillman will have a chance to bat. 9-0 in favor of Triad. 4 runs in the first, a 5-run second for the Knights. And they're very much in control of this as Winslow throws one right into the brown turf. Back to the screen it goes. He gets a new baseball. And Winslow, the tall righty, he's ready to go. Peers into Loomis's catcher. Has the sign. And the 1-1 pitch is on the way. That one is inside. Ball 2. Carson Perrell, younger brother of Jackson Perrell, who played baseball for the Kahawks a couple years ago. Next pitch to Perrell, swinging a bouncing ball into the glove. Nice play over there by Nolan Keller at third base, and a nice throw, and there's one away.
Now batting for the Kahawks, number 12.
Here is Braden Henson, the second baseman for Collinsville. Henson on the year batting .278. He has one of those solo home runs, or one of the single home runs for Kahawks do. 3 runs batted in on the year for Henson. He looks at one right across the chest, right across the letters for a called strike. And Winslow working ahead in the count. 0-1 to Henson. Will Swip on deck. And the next pitch from Winslow on the way. Took a little off of it, and that fooled Henson, and he swung right through it. 0-2. Winslow ready with the next offering, and it's on the way. Swinging a foul ball out of play. A little bit of a late swing there from Henson, trying to protect. Matt Pomerantz, the coach down the first base side. Head coach Brett Swip in the third base coach's box. Winslow, he's ready. Here's the pitch outside. Ball 1, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the second, 9-0 in favor of Triad. Winslow ready with the next delivery and hitting. Collinsville has their first base run of the day. Braden Henson took one for the team. And that will bring up Will Swip, the coach's son on the year, batting .300, 3 runs batted in. Collinsville, as far as stolen bases are concerned, they've stolen 33 bases on the year, been caught 5 times. Henson, he's the one down at first base. He has 2 of those stolen bases. There's a little hit and run action. Nice diving stop, but it never went into the glove of the second baseman, Brunson. And that's going to be a base hit, Collinsville's first base hit here on the afternoon, and that'll put runners on at first and second for the Kahawks. They got a little something going on here. Trying to see if they can get to Winslow. Here is Ben Tillman, the catcher. Tillman comes in batting .278 on the year with 4 runs batted in. He is looking for his first home run of the year. Now would be a good time for it. As the Kahawks pick up a hit batter and now a base hit, their first one of this game. Winslow, he's working from the stretch. Puts one right down the middle to Ben Tillman, the catcher. Grant Darden, the shortstop, waits in the on-deck circle. Winslow. From the stretch, checks, kicks, and pitches. Outside. Ball one ball, one strike. One out. Runners on first and second for Collinsville. Need to get some runs home. Winslow just uses the portion of the rubber that's closest to first base. Doesn't use much more than that. He fires again. That one's on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Ben Tillman. Yeah, standing on the chalk line. Umpire says you got to move off of that line, I guess. I don't know. Now he's right back on it, so that didn't do much good. Winslow's ready. Pitch, swing and a miss, and down on strikes goes Tillman. That's the first strikeout of the game for Winslow. 2 away for Collinsville, so then a little 2-out something here from Grant Darden. Darden on the year batting .308 with a couple of runs batted in. Winslow, he's ready to go. Checks on his runner and brings it. Squaring around to bunt and taking it back is Darden. Matt Reynolds, the number 9 hitter in the order for Collinsville, waits in the on-deck circle now. Brett Swip has a couple of things to say to the umpire. He didn't look too happy when he walked away, did Swip, but questioning whether that was a ball or a strike. But it was called a strike. Winslow ready with the next. Here it is. That one's a strike as well. 0-2 the count to Grant Darden. Darden, a junior, looking for something to drive here. They play him straight away. Not much in the way of gaps out there in the field. Runners get their leads and go, and the throw down to third base is in time for the out. And Hinson, they called him safe now. Did he drop the ball? Okay. Well, the throw is there in time, and the umpire initially called him out, but apparently he is safe with a stolen base for Collinsville. Will Swip stayed over at first base, so now runners on the corners, but in a hole is Darden. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count against him. That one's high. That'll even the count at 2-2, and they call a balk. They call a balk against Winslow, and both runners will advance. So that means that Hinson comes in to score from third, and Swip goes down to second, and Collinsville picks up a run. You'll take it any way you can get it, right? Darden, 2-2 the count against him. 2 outs, runner at second base now, and here's the pitch, and that one's a little high, so 3-2 as Winslow is battling back or trying to battle back after he was ahead in the count, 0-2. And now it's a full count. Third baseman Norman Keller wants to know why it was changed from an out to a safe call, and I guess he just didn't secure the ball well enough in his glove, and the umpire changed the call. Now everybody's ready to go back to work. Full count against Darden. Will Swip's over at second base. Collinsville picked up a run. They're down 9-1. Here's the pitch from Winslow, swinging a foul ball out of play. That one off of the top of the netting that goes around the ballpark and all the way down into the Triad bullpen. Pomerantz is going to go trot down there and pick up that ball. Winslow, he's ready with another 3-2 delivery. Instead, he steps off. doesn't like the baseball. Umpire takes a look at it, throws it back over to the Collinsville side of things, and now he is ready with another baseball. They throw one in from the Triad dugout, but Pomerantz is going to throw that one back to Winslow that he went down to get out of the Triad bullpen. So after all that, count remains 3-2, 2 outs in the inning, 1 run home here for Collinsville. Winslow is ready. So is Darden, and here's the pitch outside. I guess that was not 3-2. Now it is. Lots of different moving parts going on here. The umpire in the infield had a couple of words to say to Winslow. That conversation was short-lived, but nevertheless visible. And here's the next delivery, and a bouncing ball that's foul. We'll go over toward the Collinsville dugout, and we'll keep it right there. A little chilly here this afternoon. We had a cold front move through last night, but no rain with it. Just dropped the temperatures a little bit. We had a freeze warning this morning, and yeah, there was frost all over my car when I left for school at 6:45. Here's a pitch. That one's outside. Now it's 3-2. I lost track. There's been so many other things going on here. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on anymore. 3-2 the count. We know that now. Umpire threw up his hands and told everybody. And the 3-2 pitch from Winslow on the way, and that one's a called strike. And down on strikes looking is Grant Darden. Back-to-back strikeouts for Winslow. Collinsville brings 1 run across, though, on 1 base hit. And they left a runner on base as well. And we will now head to the top of the 3rd inning. Triad, they lead by a score of 9-0. We're back here in just a moment on the Kahok Sports Network.
Got vinyl? Rich's Record Emporium in Uptown Collinsville can take care of all of your vinyl needs and more. You can peruse through thousands of records, from country to hard-to-find jazz, and classic rock is always in stock at Rich's Record Emporium. Used vinyl, new vinyl, and hard-to-find vinyl. Don't forget to check out the audio room at Rich's, where you can check out the latest in audio gear, from new top-of-the-line speakers to turntables and receivers, plus all of the accessories. Rich's has t-shirts, record cleaners, turntable needles, wall art, and so much more. If you can't find what you're looking for at Rich's, they will do their best to find it for you. Don't forget to mention seeing this ad on the Kahok Sports Network for a 10% discount at checkout. Rich's Record Emporium, 131 West Main Street in Collinsville, or call 618-795-1333 or online at richesrecordemporium.com. Pack Mail of Collinsville, locally owned and operated by Ryan Combs. Pack Mail can ship anything, anywhere. They treat you like a neighbor because, well, you are a neighbor. Pack Mail offers shipping materials and containers, private mailboxes, as well as climate-controlled self-storage. Visit Pack Mail at 407 Beltline Road in Collinsville. Online, WeShipSt.Louis.com or call Pack Mail at 346-4884.
Jackson Vaughn leads things off here against Tyler Huntebrinker. We are in the top of the 3rd inning. Triad leads 9-1. Knights put up 4 in the 1st inning off of a grand slam. 5 more runs in the 2nd inning, helped out by a 2-run home run. Triad now has some action going on in their bullpen as Winslow has kind of struggled through his 2 innings of work, although he's only given up 1 run, and that came home on a balk. And here is Vaughn, who walked and scored in that 5-run 2nd inning for Triad. He stands in from the left side and swings at the next offering into the glove of Braden Henson at second base, and the throw over to first base is in time. And there is a 1 away. 4-3 for those of you keeping score at home. Braxton Yates, the number 9 hitter for Triad, batting. Now Yates, a bunt pop fly that was taken by the third baseman Carter Harrington. in his first at bat back in the first inning. And he looks at one in there for a called strike. Back to the top of the order, and Gabe Deaver, who is the man in the on-deck circle. They don't really have a circle here, but I'm just going to say that anyway. Hunter Breaker brings one home, and that one hits him right in the back. So now each team has given up a hit by pitch. And Triad has had a base runner in every inning thus far, and here comes Gabe Deaver. Deaver struck out in that 4-run first inning, but singled and scored in that 5-run second inning as he stands in from the left side. One away, top of the third, 9-1 Triad. Pitch, swinging a high fly ball. This one is on the infield, just in foul territory, and taken by Adam Bovinet over at first base. And that's 2 away. Well, that'll bring up Hayden Burnreader. Burnreader had the 2-run home run in the 5-run second inning. Opposite field home run, helped out by that little bit of a wind that's blowing from right to left. Went over the big, tall wall out there in left field. Throw over to first base, and back in there safely is Yates. Hunterbringer, the right-hander, peers over his left shoulder and brings the next one outside. Burnreader, the right fielder, has walked and scored, and the 2-run home run. Pitch, swing, and a base hit. That's going to be a gapper all the way out in right center field. Up against the fence it goes. They're going to wave the runner home, and Yates is going to score without even a throw on a 2-run double by Burnreader. So they got that run right back that Collinsville got in the bottom half of the second inning. And Triad goes up 10-1. Courtesy runner for Triad. Nope, he just had to go get rid of some gloves. Burnreader is back out there. That brings up Hayden Booger, excuse me. Hayden Booger is singled and scored, and that happened in that 4-run first inning, and he struck out in the second inning. Runner on second. 2 outs. Hunterbrinker brings it home. A little low and outside. Ball 2, 2-0. Busy day for Kahok sports. Boys volleyball playing Edwardsville at home. Girls soccer, they're playing Alton at home. Zach Roseman will have that game for you at about 6:30, somewhere around there. Here's the pitch, and that one's a little low as well. The volleyball game against Edwardsville was supposed to be at Edwardsville today, but they swapped, and today's game is at Collinsville, and then the game on May 1st that was supposed to be at Collinsville is now at Edwardsville. It's going to be at Liberty Middle School because Edwardsville is getting their floor in their gymnasium replaced after water damage earlier this year. Next delivery, and all 4 out of the strike zone. And Booger receives a 4-pitch walk. 15-2. 15-2, you say? 15-2. Lady Kahok softball team beat East St. Louis. So one of the 4 sports already over for Collinsville on the day. And here is Landon Loomis at the plate for Triad. Loomis has walked and scored both times he's been to the plate. And he looks at a ball or inside ball, or excuse me, that was called a strike. So 0-1. Runners on first and second, 2 away. Collinsville trailing by 9. Pitch by Hunterbrinker on the way. Swing and a shot right into the glove of the second baseman, Braden Henson. And the inning will come to a close, but not before another run comes across the plate. Collinsville will come up and see what they can do in the bottom half of the third inning after we take a timeout here on the Kahok Sports Network.
Looking for a new place to catch the game with cold drinks and great food? Look no further than 1101 Bar and Grill in Caseyville. 1101 Bar and Grill features pizza, burgers, wraps, and salads, plus 7 large screen TVs to catch the latest Kahawk games and all the pro sports across the spectrum, plus all the college football and basketball you can handle. 1101 Bar and Grill in Caseyville, 1101 Caseyville Road, right across the street from Kahawk Stadium. Call 1101 Bar and Grill for carryout orders at 618-223-1332. Got questions about Medicare? If you're approaching the age of 65, the answer to that question is a resounding yes. Bill Holton is a former Collinsville Raider and Kahawk football player and is now an independent broker with Senior Health Plans, and he can answer all of those tough questions when it comes to Medicare. Which plan, which part, what's covered, and what's not. If you're approaching the age of Medicare and need those questions answered, let Bill Holton get you those answers. Bill Holton with Senior Health Plans. Call him today at 618-978-2306 or email Bill Holton at william.holton@yahoo.com.
Welcome back to Grizzlies Ballpark here in Sauget, Illinois. 10-1 in favor of Triad as we head to the home half of the third inning. Drew Winslow is back out there on the mound to try to finish what he started. He'll face Matt Reynolds, the number 9 hitter in the order, then back to the top for Collinsville and Luke Robinson and Carter Harrington. Matt Reynolds on the year, batting .083, looking for his first run batted in. And since the bases are empty and he's the leadoff guy, the only way he can do that right now is a home run. We'll take it, though. Swinging a foul ball. Watch out over there in the Triad dugout. That was a screamer. Collinsville with some more action in the bullpen. Looks like just a game of toss right now. Nevertheless, they have some movement in the bullpen. Looks like they're going to have some company. A couple of pitchers are going to go down there and get warmed up. Strike on the outside corner to Matt Reynolds, the left fielder. We got little planes and helicopters and Lear jets flying over Grizzlies Park ever since we showed up today. Pitch, high and outside. Josh Roseman's here. He's doing the PA announcing today. Derek Keith Cox could not do it. And, of course, Zach Roseman's going to be doing the soccer game, which means Chris Kettler is also going to be the scoreboard operator at the soccer game. So they couldn't help out either. Here's a bouncing ball over to the second baseman. Sawyer Brunson played it perfectly and throws while he's on the run, and there is one out. Back to the top of the order here for Collinsville. That would be Luke Robinson. Luke Robinson lined out to the shortstop. Hayden Booger, his first time up. He'll bat from the left side. Collinsville has a Will Swip, who's the designated hitter in this game, down throwing in the bullpen. As the first pitch is in there for a called strike against Robinson. Still trying to get the number on the other young man throwing down there. I believe that is a Roman Pomerantz. Winslow ready with the 0-1. Here it comes, and they offered at it, and the umpire says, yes, sir, you went around. So Robinson in an 0-2 hole. Winslow brings another one home, and that one is a little low and inside. Winslow ready, and that one gets away from him. Slipped out of his hands. Just a bit outside. That one slipped right out of his hand. 2-2 the count to Luke Robinson. Carter Harrington waiting on deck. Winslow looks in, brings it, swinging another chance for Brunson at second base. He gobbles it up and throws over to first. Almost took Keegan Sipe off the bag over there, but he stays on and uses that big long arm of his over there to stretch out and snag that ball. So back-to-back putouts by Sawyer Brunson. 2 away. Here comes Carter Harrington, who lined out to left fielder Braxton Yates his first time up. 2 away. No post-game interview. Never do those when we're here. It's a very long way up here from down there. So we forego the post-game interview until we get to the friendly confines of Fletcher Field. We hope that will happen sometime in May. Right now, all home games in April are scheduled for either here or SIU Edwardsville. Outside with that pitch. And they say that Harrington didn't go around, although he offered at it. So 1 ball, 1 strike to count to the Collinsville third baseman, Carter Harrington. Winslow going back to work. No one warming up in the bullpen for Triad now. Not sure if there was actually somebody warming up or if it's just a couple of guys trying to stay loose. It is a bit chilly. Sunny but chilly. That's on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Carter Harrington. Winslow's next pitch on the way. That one's outside, gets away from the catcher, Loomis. But it hits the brick wall back behind home plate, comes right back to him. Or did it? No, did it not? No, guess not, because Bovenet just went back there to retrieve it. Winslow ready with a 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Swing and a miss, and down on strikes goes Carter Harrington to end the inning. And that on the afternoon is just the second strikeout for Winslow, but Collinsville had nothing going on in their half of the third inning. We now head to the top of the fourth, and it is 10-1 in favor of the Triad Knights, and we're all about to tell you about the brand new inning when we come back from a timeout here on the Kahok Sports Network. Celebrate the life of your loved one should be as special as the person they represent. That's why you will always find the staff at Her Funeral Home in Collinsville ready to go the extra mile to meet the needs of you and your family during those times. For over 100 years, Her Funeral Home has been there for Collinsville and the surrounding communities. Of the many arrangements made after losing a loved one, the first is the selection of a funeral home. The staff at Her Funeral Home in Collinsville can help with that planning. Call Her Funeral Home in Collinsville at 618-344-0187. Her Funeral Home, serving Collinsville families for over 100 years. 618-344-0187. VFW Post 1117 in Caseyville is one of the area's longest-running VFW posts. VFW Post 1117 in Caseyville is your place to meet and join other area veterans. Plus, VFW Post 1117 in Caseyville offers all kinds of activities to help our veterans, as well as engaging the public with fun, food, fellowship, and a great time for great causes. Blood drives, fundraisers, raffles, and a Queen of Hearts drawing every Wednesday night. Plus, VFW Post 1117 in Caseyville has event space for your parties, celebrations, and other get-togethers. For more information, check out the VFW Post 1117's Facebook page or call the Caseyville VFW at 618-344-9878. Once again, we welcome you back here to Grizzlies Ballpark, formerly known as GCS Ballpark. Here is Keegan Sipe. Sipe with a grand slam home run. And then he came around to score after a walk. So he has been on twice, scored twice. 4 runs batted in as he faces Tyler Huntebrinker. 10-1, though, in favor of Triad, top of the 4th inning. Nolan Keller on deck, and then Sawyer Brunson. That's who's facing Huntebrinker here in this 4th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike to count now to Sipe. Huntebrinker is ready and brings in the next. Will Swip apparently is done warming up in the bullpen, so the only one left down there right now is Roman Pomerantz. He's been down there for a while. 2-1 the count to Keegan Sipe, and the pitch from Huntebrinker on the way, and that one misses. 3-1. Hunterbringer brings another pitch home. Swinging a high fly ball. This one is being chased at by Harrington, but that's going to get just over the screen, right over by the bullpen. The catcher over there taking the warm-up tosses from Pomerantz was running for his life, even though he's got gear on. No one wants to be hit by a baseball, man. Full count now to Keegan Sipe. And Hunterbringer pitches, and another high fly ball heading toward the same spot. So whoever that was in the dugout that went over to chase the other ball, he's already over there ready to chase down this one. Yeah. Catcher's over there going, what are you doing over here, man? You taking target practice at me? I'm just a bullpen catcher, man. He doesn't get paid enough. Now, he's in high school, man. He doesn't get paid anything. There's no name, image, likeness in high school. There's a swing and a bouncing ball toward Henson. He gobbles it up, and a throw over to Bovenet is in time for out number one. So that'll bring up Nolan Keller. Keller, the third baseman, grounded out to the shortstop Darden his first at bat and singled home a couple of runs in that 5-run second inning. So he is 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Keller from the right side awaits the first pitch from the righty Hunterbringer, and it floats in there for a strike called on the inside corner. Sawyer Brunson waiting in the on-deck circle. That is Will Swip down there still warming up. So Pomerantz is done. Swip's down there still getting his arm ready to go. Swinging a shot down the third baseline. That's fair. Backhanded by Harrington. A throw over there. Not in time, though. And even if it would have been on target, I still don't think that he would have got Keller out. So Keller with back-to-back base hits has given Triad their 6th base hit of the game. And here comes Sawyer Brunson. Brunson, one of the rarities in the Triad lineup today. He's 0 for 2 with a fly out and a ground out. And he recorded the third out in both the first and the second inning. So he would like to make amends for that. Runner on first base, 1 out. Hunterbringer brings it home. Swinging a cue shot. That's going to find the seeing eye base hit. And rounding second and going all the way to third base is the runner, Nolan Keller. Ball gets away, but luckily Hunterbringer did a nice job backing up the play and didn't allow the runner to move up. Although on the throw, moving over to second base, was the batter, Sawyer Brunson. So he just gets credit for a base hit, but moves up on the throw. And here is Jackson Vaughn, the DH. He has singled and scored and grounded out in this contest. So runners at second and third, 1 away. Triad looking to add on. They're up by 9, looking to make it more. Hunterbringer, he's ready to pitch, and here it comes. It's outside, ball 1. Jackson Vaughn batting for the pitcher Winslow. Stands in from the left side. And the pitch. Called a ball, I guess, by the umpire. He didn't make a strike movement, even though that kind of looked like it was over the middle part of the plate. I'm guessing it was low. I'm right behind the umpire, so sometimes I have a hard time seeing where the ball goes across the plate. Hunterbringer ready with a 2-0 pitch. And here it comes. Swinging a high fly ball. This one is in shallow left field, and on the run, the shortstop. Nice job by Grant Darden, coming all the way from the shortstop position and made a sliding catch over at the third base foul line, and there are 2 away.
Now batting, number 2, Braxton Yates.
Here is Braxton Yates, the number 9 hitter in the order for Triad. He has bunted into a pop fly that Carter Harrington had, and he was hit by a pitch, and he scored a run. So 2 away, runners at second and third. Hunterbringer trying to get out of this inning with no more runs coming across. Swing and a miss by Yates. Back to the top of the order, Gabe Deaver waits on deck. Hunterbringer from the stretch. Doesn't even look over at the runner at third base. Brings home the pitch instead, and it gets away from the catcher, and everybody's going to advance, and that means that coming in to score is Nolan Keller, and that one is going to be a wild pitch because that one bounced into Tillman, then bounced off of his gear. And another run comes across for Triad. That makes it a 10-run game, and down to third base on the play is Brunson. Meanwhile, Yates still at the plate, looks at the next pitch and taps it right to Hunter Brinker, who throws over to first base in time for the out. Play goes 1-3 for the third out, but a run does come across the plate, and Collinsville now has their work cut out for them as they trail by 10. As we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning, we'll tell you all about it after we come back from a timeout here on the Kahok Sports Network.
Mike's Automotive in Collinsville is a T3 certified tire dealer and so much more. Sure, Mike's Automotive has tires. They can also help with making sure your entire vehicle is road ready, from belts and hoses to preventative maintenance like oil changes and tire rotation. Plus a lot more than that. Mike's Automotive has 3 locations to choose from. Mike's Automotive in St. Louis and Millstadt, and Mike's Automotive in Collinsville at 1150 St. Louis Road, just blocks from the high school. Or call Mike's Automotive at 618-345-0611. Mike's Automotive in Collinsville.
First National Bank of Waterloo, with over 100 years serving the Metro East. Visit First National Bank of Waterloo at their Maryville and Collinsville locations, and now in Marissa, St. Laborie, and New Athens for all of your banking, mortgage, and lending needs with super low closing costs and low construction loan rates. When you need a loan, call the Collinsville team at First National Bank of Waterloo at 618-345-1121, or visit their Maryville or Collinsville locations or online at fnbwaterloo.bank. Visit First National Bank of Waterloo, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Once again, we welcome you back here to Grizzlies Park. Todd Duke is my name. Glad that you're with us. Our first baseball game of the year. Hawks played 9 before we got a chance to call one. We were supposed to call Friday's game against Granite City, but that's when the storms moved through and started the deluge of rain that we all received around here. New pitcher for Triad, that is Sawyer Brunson. And trying to figure out who is playing second base now that Brunson's out of there. I believe that says number 4. No, that would be Jackson Vaughn. Or, well, it could be. Vaughn was just the DH. And here is Adam Bovinet. He pops up, and this one's going to go to shallow left field. And that is Braxton Yates out there, so that can't be him. And trying to see, like number 6. I can't tell if that's a 6 or an 8. At any rate, one away. And that'll bring up Carson Perrell. Perrell grounded out his first time up. So did Bovinet. Yeah, music. Josh Roseman forgot to turn off the music. There's a lot to do, man. He's running the scoreboard as well, so he's doing double duty. Pitch is a called stump. He actually took an offering at it, did Perrell. Sawyer Brunson, by the way, out on the hill. This is his 4th appearance in a game. He has started one game, 8 1/3 innings, giving up 5 runs, all of them earned. And Brunson has struck out 20 while walking none so far this year. That's pretty impressive. One away, 1-1 count to Perrell. And the pitch is in there for a called strike, and he is down on strike, so make that 21 strikeouts. Winslow only had 2 while he was in there. Quickly 2 away. And here is Braden Henson. Henson was hit by a pitch and then came home to score on a balk while he was at third base. After Will Swip's only base hit Collinsville has so far moved him over to third. Actually, a stolen base moved him to third, but he was at second base because of the Swip base hit. Pierce Goodfield, I believe, is playing second base. I believe that's a number 8. And the pitch, and a foul ball well out of play. So, 2-1 the count to Braden Henson, the second baseman for Collinsville. Here's a pitch, and swing and a miss. 2-2. 2 outs, no one on. Collinsville trailing by 10. And we are approaching the 5th inning. Collinsville, of course, is the home team here. And there's a shot off the end of the bat, foul. That'll bounce off the wall and roll all the way out to Burnreader out in right field. So the count remains 2-2 as another little biplane will move over. Not a biplane, but, you know, it's one that's got propellers on it. Here's a pitch. High. Biplane. Haven't seen a biplane since, like, World War I. I mean, they're still out there. They're, you know, people collect them and fly them and stuff like that, but that was not one of them. He went after a high pitch, did Henson, and he got a piece of it, sent it back to the screen so he stays alive. Triad has scored a run in every inning. 4 in the first, 5 in the second, 1 in each the third and the fourth. Here's the next pitch to Henson. Swinging a high fly ball. That one's down the line. That's got extra bases written all over. That's a fair ball. And on his way to second base is going to be Henson, and he'll pull up in there with bounced over the wall out there in foul territory after it hit in fair territory. So how about a double for Henson? First extra base hit for Collinsville, and here is Will Swip. Swip has the other base hit. So if he can do that again, Collinsville might be able to plate a run and once again be trailing by 9 instead of the current 10. Collinsville's lone run came in the second inning. Swip looks in, and here comes the pitch, and that's a little floater, a little curve floater at that. From Brunson. Brunson's ready with the next, and a high fly ball out to right field. Burnreader is underneath it, and he has it for the out. So Collinsville could not scratch across a run, and that is going to do it for the 4th inning. Bottom of the 4th inning. We'll go to the top of the 5th. How about that? As soon as my computer cooperates with me, we'll go to the top of the 5th, and we'll come back to tell you all about said top of the 5th inning after we come back from a timeout here on the Kahok Sports Network.
Lakeside Roofing in Collinsville. Let the professionals at Lakeside Roofing protect your most important investment, your home or business. Have the elements taken a toll on your roof system? Notice a leaking roof? Maybe it's time for a free roof inspection. Regular maintenance can extend the life of your roofing system by 10 years or more. Lakeside Roofing is your winning team for commercial and residential roofing systems. Lakeside All-Star professionals have installed, repaired, and maintained hundreds of roofs on both sides of the river. Call Lakeside Roofing today at 618-344-2800 in Collinsville or 314-241-5253 or online at lakesideroofing.com. Choose experience. Choose Lakeside. Todd Duke here, proud member of the Collinsville Educational Assistance Association. Whether you call us teachers' aides, paraprofessionals, or educational assistants, it all comes down to one thing: taking care of students. More importantly, your student. Yes, we are there for the teachers, and we help them in any way possible. But our goals are in line with our teachers in that we want to see our students succeed at not only being a student, but well beyond that as we ready them for the world outside of the classroom. We are Union Strong. We are Kahok Strong. We strive to help students reach their potential. We are the Collinsville Educational Assistance Association. Go Kahawks!
Roman Pomerantz becomes the new pitcher for your Collinsville Kahawks. And he will face the top of the order here in Gabe Deaver. First pitch swinging is Deaver, and a bouncing ball that's going to go to Adam Bovenet, and Bovenet's just going to race to the bag himself, so 1 pitch and 1 out here. 3 unassisted on the putout. Collinsville trying to keep the score right where it is, but then they'll have to at least plate 1 in the bottom half of this inning, or that'll be it for the night. Here is Hayden Burnreader. Burnreader has walked and homered in this game. Also has a double. There's a shot right to Bovenet, and Bovenet once again will go 3 unassisted, back-to-back, 3 unassisted putouts on 2 pitches by Pomerantz. I'm trying to give you Pomerantz's numbers, and I can't even get that far. Roman Pomerantz, his third appearance on the year. He's pitched only 2 innings. He's given up 3 runs, all of them earned. And Pomerantz has neither walked a batter or struck out a batter, and he almost hit Hayden Booger there. Booger singled and scored in the first inning, struck out in the second, walked and was left stranded in the third. So quickly 2 away here. I think Booger's job is to go up there and take a couple of pitches to give his teammates a chance to breathe a little bit. As there were 2 pitches and made 2 outs. 2-0 the count to Booger, though. Here's the next pitch to the Triad shortstop, and that one's up high, and quickly it's 3-0. Pomerantz, he's ready, and here's the pitch, and that one's a called strike. He thought he had a walk. Umpire says, not so fast there, young man. I'm the one who makes that call. Pitch on the way from Pomerantz, and that one does miss. And Booger is on at first base with a walk. That is the 7th walk issued on the afternoon by Kahok pitching. That'll bring up Landon Loomis, the catcher. Loomis has 2 of those walks, and both times that he has received a free pass, he has scored. And that was in the first inning and the second inning. He lined out to Braden Hinson at second base in the third inning. Pomerantz has to work with a runner on, and the first pitch misses. Ball 1. Pomerantz, the righty, from the stretch, and brings another one home, and that one's up high as well. Forget about the runner. Got to worry about the batter. Collinsville trailing by 10. Pomerantz, he's ready with the next offering. And the 2-0 pitch to Loomis is on the way. That one's in there for a called strike. Keegan Sipe, who got all this damage started with a grand slam in the first inning, waits on deck. Right now it's up to Loomis with 2 outs and a runner on first. And the pitch, swinging another shot. This one is not going to be gloved down by Bovenet. It goes into the Triad bullpen, and that's going to allow Loomis to go all the way into second base, but that was going to be a double probably regardless. Booger makes it all the way over to third. And the 8th base hit of the afternoon for Triad puts runners on second and third with 2 away for the man, like I said, who's already done some damage here today, and that is Keegan Sipe. Had that grand slam home run in the first, walked and scored in the second. He did ground out to Hinson in the fourth. And the pitch to Sipe on the way. That's a called strike. And Pomerantz ready. Swing and a cue ball shot out to Robinson. He has to play it on the bounce, and it goes over his head. That ball ends up going to the wall. 2 more runs are going to score. As Booger and Loomis come around. Collinsville already had an uphill battle anyway, being down by 10 runs before they even made it to the bottom of the 5th, but now they are down by 12. Sipe with 2 more RBIs. He has 6 runs batted in today. That'll bring up Nolan Keller. Keller rounded out and back-to-back singles. Was stranded in the second, but came around to score the only run that Triad put up in the 4th. And this inning started with back-to-back real quick outs, and Collinsville and Pomerantz couldn't get out of it. There's a high fly ball going to center field. Luke Robinson is on the run, and it's off his glove. He had that ball in his glove, and then it popped right out. And that's going to be the first error of the game. And Keller is going to reach on an E8. And that allows another run to score. And Keller is down at second base. That'll bring up Sawyer Brunson. So another run comes home for Triad on the first error of the game committed by either one of these teams. And Collinsville still not out of this inning. 2 pitches, 2 outs, and then all of a sudden the floodgates opened. Here's the pitch. Swinging a foul ball over the press box here. Ooh, that's on top of the press box. The wind has almost died completely down here. Shadows are getting long, though. There's a strike called. 5 minutes till 6 o'clock. Sun goes down well after 7 nowadays, but the shadows are getting long as that sun has already started its descent to the west. And a little swing off of the bat, bounces back to the screen behind home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Sawyer Brunson. Brunson, fly out, ground out, and a base hit. He was stranded after that base hit. Made it all the way to third back in the 4th inning. That pitch is high. And the next pitch, right back to the pitcher, and it's stabbed by Pomerantz. He'll underhand it to Bovenet, and the inning comes to a close, but not before 3 more runs come across the plate. And now Collinsville really has their work cut out for them. They entered this inning trailing by 10, and now they trail by 13. We will tell you all about the bottom half of the 5th inning after we come back from a timeout here on the Kahok Sports Network.
Just because we're adults doesn't mean we don't have toys, am I right? If your adult toys consist of boats, campers, or RVs, then you need to call the GASA storage team of professionals. Winter weather in the Midwest can be quite harsh, and finding a place to properly store those expensive toys for winter can be just as rough as a Midwest winter. That's where the GASA storage team comes in, with outdoor self-storage and covered storage for your toys. They even have tractor-trailer parking. Conveniently located at Horseshoe Lake Road and 111 in Pontoon Beach. GASA Storage for the safe storage of all of your toys. Contact the GASA Storage team, gasastorage@gmail.com, or call today, GASA Storage Team, 618-797-6100.
Your home is where you feel happy, safe, and secure. So if you see signs of foundation problems like cracks or uneven floors, worrying is natural, and getting it fixed is crucial. Woods Basement Systems understands. We've been solving foundation worries since 1986. Woods experts have the training and equipment to make permanent repairs. So stop worrying, because with Woods, it's fixed forever. Foundation problems don't get better with time, they get better with Woods, the all things basement-y experts. Call or go to woodsbasementsystems.com today.
Ben Tillman will lead things off here for Collinsville as the Kahawks look to get a little magic going here, and they're going to need a lot of it as they come in trailing by 13 runs. Tillman Darden and Reynolds, the numbers 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Tillman was a strikeout victim his first time up as he faces Brunson and looks at 2 into the strike zone, so already in an 0-2 hole is Tillman. Brunson's ready, and the pitch outside. Collinsville just got a game added on to their schedule Monday here against Alton Marquette. I didn't have anything going on, so I added that to the schedule. So we'll be back here Monday for that contest as Tillman strikes out for the second time here today. But Collinsville's next game will be Thursday. That'll be at Staunton. As Triad, they're back in action tomorrow with a road trip to Centralia. So one away, and here is Grant Darden, who got caught looking at a third strike, and he just did the same thing to start this at bat off with. Looked at strike one. So Brunson ahead in the count. Collinsville has a pitcher warming up in the bullpen, but I'm thinking that the coach is down there with him, so he's wanting him to work on a few things. Well, you never know. Collinsville's got a big uphill battle, though. They trail by 13. The 10-run rule in effect. Collinsville's down to their last 2 outs. This one's outside. Ball 2, 2-1. JV volleyballers won over Edwardsville, so that's nice. The varsity team in action probably right now. This ball is fouled back here. It's going to take a bounce off of the seats right by section 111. That'll even the count at 2-2. Softball team already won against East St. Louis. And soccer, I'm sure the JV game is getting close to wrapping up. They're playing Alton. Alton comes into town having yet to score a goal this year. There's a shot, pop fly. That's going to sink down into center field. A little off of the handle base hit there by Darden. And Collinsville picks up their third base hit of this game. So a runner on at first base. Long way to go. Here's Matt Reynolds. Or excuse me, that is not Matt Reynolds. That is Elijah Clay, who will come in and bat for Reynolds. Elijah Clay has had 4 plate appearances and 2 at-bats so far in the year. And he has a couple of hits, both of them singles, and 1 RBI. Clay, a junior. Brunson brings it in. Inside, ball 1. Luke Robinson, the leadoff hitter, waits on deck. Grant Darden, the shortstop, has his lead at first. Brunson is ready with the 1-0, and that one hits the outside corner, 1-1. Pitch on the way, and swinging a foul ball out of play. Brunson from the stretch. And a pitch that stays high. 2-2 the count to Elijah Clay. Brunson checks on his runner. Comes to the belt and brings one home. That one's outside, 3-2. One away, runner at first base. 3-2 the count to Elijah Clay, who is batting for Matt Reynolds. Here's the pitch. High, he walked him. So the Kahawks have runners on at first and second. And here is Luke Robinson as we go back to the top of the order for Collinsville. But before then, Triad's going to take a little trip to the mound to see what's going on with Brunson. Brunson issued the first walk of the afternoon for Triad pitching. Drew Winslow did hit a batter while he was in there. That was Braden Hinson, and Braden came around to score after Will Swip moved him over to second base. Collinsville got a stolen base as Hinson went to third, and then Hinson came home on a balk. That has been the only run that Collinsville has scored so far here today. Conversation is over. Runners go back to their bases. And we're ready to go back to work as the lefty Luke Robinson steps back in. Brunson checks on his runner at second base and brings a pitch home. That one's just a little bit high. Had some movement on it, though. 1-0 the count to Robinson. Carter Harrington waits on deck. Brunson pitches again. Swing and a miss. Flag's blown in a different direction now. It's blown from left to right. Warming winds? We can only hope. We are well below where we should be this time of year. Another swing and a miss by Robinson. Average high for this time of year is 66, and we were lucky today to make it to 50. I'm ready for normal. Actually, I'm ready for above normal. Let's get to 70 and stay there for a while, can we? 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Robinson, and this one's inside and low. That'll even things up at 2-2. Triad, you know what they're looking for? They're looking for a game-ending double play ball. They do not keep fielding stats on the Triad Knights for the STL, so I have nothing as far as errors or double plays go, so I have no idea if they've even turned one this year. I would imagine they have. Runners go, and swing and a miss. That's the second out, and everybody's going to be safe. Double steal for Collinsville, but Robinson goes down swinging for out number 2. And the Kahawks pick up a couple of steals as Carter Harrington comes up to the plate. Harrington 0 for 2 with a line out and a strikeout. So the Kahawks are down to their last out. A 3-run home run, though, would make it a 10-run game, right? So you still need some more base runners. There's a strike. Two away, runners at second and third for the Kahawks. But Collinsville trails this one 14-1. Pitch on the way from Brunson. Swinging a one-hopper right to the second baseman, Goodfield, and he throws it over for the out, and that is going to do it for this contest. The Triad Knights will win this one by a final score of 14-1, dropping Collinsville's record to 4-6 on the year, while Triad improves to 9-1. And now it is time for the post-game show, brought to you tonight by my friend Dr. Chris McCluskey at Chiropractic Works in Collinsville. As I mentioned, owned and operated by Dr. McCluskey. He and his crew will work on helping many people as possible live high-quality lives all through chiropractic care and wellness. You can visit Dr. McCluskey at Chiropractic Works in Collinsville, 410 Regency Center, just off of the Beltline Road in Collinsville. You can give them a call at 618-343-3602 or online at chiropracticworkscollinsville.com. Post-game show comes your way next on the Kahok Sports Network.
I'd like to introduce you to some incredible new technology we have available here at Chiropractic Works. The machine is known as an Invisired lipolaser machine. The Invisired machine emits a red light and red laser that combine in unison to go through the skin layers into the adipose or fat tissue and cause the cells to go ahead and metabolize themselves. The Invisired technology is the only machine that's FDA approved for fat loss, stimulates collagen and elastin, improves the function of the lymphatic system, boosts metabolism, and increases metabolic response. Typical response after the very first treatment is a 1/2 to 2 inches of loss in body measurement. So if you think that this technology could help you accomplish any weight loss or aesthetic goals, we would be glad to have you come in for a consultation, get a first treatment, and experience the amazing benefits that Invisared offers.
Do you have a big land improvement project that requires some outside help? Call Petroff Trucking Company. The Petroff Companies have been shaping the metro area since 1975. Family owned and operated, Petroff Trucking Company can do the job and do it right. Hauling, excavating, and grading, they do that and more. Petroff Companies also has roll-off dumpster rentals. They also specialize in dirt and rock sales. Petroff Trucking Company can help you develop your land for your needs. Petroff Trucking Company. Check out their website, petrofftrucking.com, or give them a call, 618-797-6100. Petroff Trucking Company, shaping the metro area since 1975.
The Junior Service Club of Collinsville has been a proud supporter of KahokSports.com and the Kahok Sports Network from day one. Since 1934, the Junior Service Club of Collinsville has been providing women in the community an opportunity to make a difference with fundraisers and projects, all that go towards helping the needy in Collinsville. If you would like any information on any event sponsored by the Collinsville Junior Service Club, head to Facebook, type in Collinsville Junior Service Club, and then click on the event tab. We thank the Collinsville Junior Service Club for their continued support of the Kahok Sports Network and KahokSports.com.
Hi, Purple and White fans. This is Dan Mode, class of 1989. I'm with New American Funding. Myself and New American Funding are proud sponsors of Kahok Athletics. As we have great coaches at CHS on all the courts, fields, and tracks, we like to coach you through the home buying process and refinance process. If there's ever anything we can do, I can be reached at 618-973-5343 or www.danmodeloans.com. Let's support our student athletes at CHS. They deserve the best. Thank you for your time, and go Kahawks.
I'd like to introduce you to some incredible new technology we have available here at Chiropractic Works. The machine is known as an Invisared lipolaser machine. The Invisared machine emits a red light and red laser that combine in unison to go through the skin layers into the adipose or fat tissue and cause the cells to go ahead and metabolize themselves. The Invisared technology is the only machine that's FDA approved for fat loss, stimulates collagen and elastin, improves the function of the lymphatic system, boosts metabolism, and increases metabolic response. Typical response after the very first treatment is 1/2 to 2 inches of loss in body measurement. So if you think that this technology could help you accomplish any weight loss or aesthetic goals, we would be glad to have you come in for a consultation, get a first treatment, and experience the amazing benefits that Invisared offers.
And welcome you back into the Chiropractic Works post-game show here on the Kahok Sports Network. Triad Knights win this one pretty handily, 14-1 in favor of Triad over your Collinsville Kahawks. Triad didn't waste any time getting going. They played at 4 in the first on a grand slam by Keegan Sipe. They added 5 more runs in the second, another run in the third, another in the fourth, and 3 more in the fifth. And they scored in every inning of this contest, and Collinsville's only run came in the second inning after Braden Henson was hit by a pitch. He ended up going to second base on a base hit by Will Swip. Henson then stole third base, and then the umpire called a balk, so Henson came in to score, and Swip went over to second base. But other than Swip's base hit, Braden Henson's double in the fourth inning and a single by Grant Darden in the bottom of the fifth inning, Collinsville could only muster 3 hits on the day. So Triad, 14 runs on 10 hits. They committed no errors and left 5 base runners on. Collinsville, 1 run on 3 hits. They committed 1 error and left 4 base runners on. So that is going to do it for us here this afternoon. We are next back with you Thursday at home for a little Lady Kahawk soccer, Southwestern Conference style, as your Collinsville Lady Kahawks play host to the O'Fallon Panthers. And next up for your baseball team, they will head to Staunton. That'll take place on Thursday, and then we'll be back here Monday afternoon. They just added a game onto the schedule today against Alton Marquette. So we'll be back here at Grizzlies Park Monday afternoon as Collinsville takes on Alton Marquette. And that's going to do it for us this afternoon. A big thank you to Coach Swip once again joining me on the pregame show. My name is Todd Duke, and until Thursday, everyone enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.